New Cycle, it's back, and if you haven't seen it before, well then, hello and welcome. Good to see you all here for our look again at the demo of the previous Steam Builder Fest, but there's a new demo coming to Steam in honor of the Steam Next event. Hello again there, friends and fans, Raptor here, and if you love yourself some post-apocalyptic city builders or base builders, then this is certainly a game to keep your eye on. Well, thanks to the makers of New Cycle for sponsoring today's video. You can check it out with the link down below in the description to go to the store page or try it out for yourself for free. And also, this is a game that, of course, as it releases, will be in early access and eventually get more updates over time. If you're a big fan of games like Frostpunk or maybe perhaps Endzone: A World Apart, or even Surviving the Aftermath, then New Cycle is a game that, of course, is a post-apocalyptic game where it's more of a cataclysmic event of the sun exploding, essentially, and destroying all sorts of electronics, and humanity going back to essentially the Industrial Revolution era, but with the knowledge and the know-how of the technology of the future. Well, I guess because they've been transported in the past, you get it. But anyway, a very interesting game, a very nice art style. I like the color palette, I like a lot of the looks of the buildings, and that's why I'm back for more. Now, we'll be taking a look at this game again after its Steam demo. Hopefully there's an update to that, but there's also some interesting new trailers that I want to show to you, and then we'll be playing this when it releases, hopefully sometime this year, or maybe next. Again, great word to the devs is anytime we get games that are delayed or whatnot and get extra time, they're extra good. I would certainly much rather hope for something that is complete and much more cared for than being rushed along, and this certainly has elements of that. So welcome aboard, good to see you all here. Let's jump in now to, I guess, another look at New Cycle, but hopefully soon a first look at some new stuff coming to it soon. So yes, as it says in the upper right corner, the Steam Base Builder Fest, which will be different than the version I'm hoping than that you'll be playing on the 19th of June. But there is, of course, a campaign coming soon to the game, a Sanity and Old Ways campaign as well. So all of these will be playable in the future, and these will be like two maybe separate campaigns or whatnot, but there is a sandbox mode for the game where you can build whatever you would like, and also a campaign mode too that's locked. So essentially a main campaign, kind of a spin-off campaign, almost feeling like a DLC within the base game, kind of like how when Frostpunk got some of the other, you know, like the Last Autumn DLCs, those types of things, and another one called Old Ways. So yeah, kind of being a little bit more focused on different ways of building. This game does have a ton of conveyor belts and things like that. So again, if you're a big fan of Factorio or even like Timberborn and stuff, all the skills that you've learned from those games will be good to go here. Now, I really like the campaign for this game as well, or at least the fact that it has a campaign that will tell a story over many different missions. So that's going to be very beneficial to us as well, as we'll get more of a story through different snippets rather than just one continuous campaign. Kind of nice that way. All right, well, let's jump back into the sandbox mode now and build ourselves a city in New Cycle. Let's go. Another note is that when we play Sandbox, we get to choose meadow, tundra, mountain, or desert, so that will be interesting to see how we gather food and resources differently between the meadow and the tundra and the mountain and the desert. Obviously, the desert's going to have a lot less trees, but might offer a lot more metal, same with the mountain, and, well, that will be a lot more difficult in terms of survival against the cold. So many different ways to survive in this one, and of course, there's also kind of a seasonal transition in this one, as it says, plus 40 morale at the start of spring. We'll have rains and other things to contend with too. So let's jump in now and begin. Oh, I'd forgotten how much this looks like Farthest Frontier at the same time, too. Very nice. Okay, a message from the community. Let's go. Now, I believe this is going to talk about wanting to give us a tutorial if we need it, and I'll take that because I've forgotten how to play, but it is a game that is easy to learn and pretty easy to master some of the basics and the initial needs of your people, things like food, water, creation of logging camps, and then eventually making planks and whatnot out of it. This going over the story of how humanity fell due to the shenanigans of the sun, let's say. Let's go ahead and begin our tutorial then. And the tutorial essentially will just tell us what we need to do and how to do it. So we need to gather logs and stones, and to do that we need to build a field camp, so that'll automatically gather stones and wood from out in the field. So here we have some stones and some trees, obviously. Now, another thing to note in this game is that some of these mountainous terrain, like this kind of, it's more of a hill, but you know, it looks like a mini mountain. That's where we'll be finding copper and things in the future. So a good idea, word to the wise, to try to build close to those, but not on top of them, or like literally next to them. But a beautiful landscape here. And another great thing that I can recall immediately from playing this before is that eventually when we go to generate electricity, windmills will be a necessity to gather all the wind blowing in from the coast. And a cool thing about this game is that we can actually kind of make like a alleyway or a roadway for the wind. In other words, if we cut down all these trees, it'll increase the wind speed coming from the coastline, and thus we can get more power that way. Ingenious. We see seagulls around a beautiful coastline too, and I think we might be able to fish in this game, although not possible in the demo. But there is remnants of the old world over here too, a rail line that cuts out of the mountain and heads through into another one. So we can actually see some of the remnants of the past. Possibly in the future we might be able to find like I don't know, a destroyed train or a factory or some houses or something in the future in other maps. That'll be really neat to do. Love the art style in this game too. Again, it really does feel a little bit like Farthest Frontier meets End Zone: A World Apart, and that is just like the best of two combos. That is really nice. I like that a lot. All right, let's build what we need. First of all, we have a shack and a dusty road. We have field camps, gathering post, and wells. We have lumber mill, soup kitchens, forge and smith. Utilities such as a stockpile, windmill, Scouts Guild, and the Technical Boot Camp, and then, of course, some other buildings that may unlock later. There's also 3 tiers to this game, too, so it's kind of like taking care of, in Anno 1800, the artisans versus the engineers versus, like, the workers. And they all have different needs and ways to unlock them and to give them the skills they need to specialize in each of their different tasks. So over here we have some, what looks to be iron, we have stone, we have wood. I think we're going to start down here and try to build as close to the main area as we can. So let's go ahead and build a roadway off from here. Oh, we need stone to do that. Okay, so we'll need to then not build roads until we actually build our field camps. So these are not supposed to have roads until we have resources to essentially build those roads. We'll build there, and we'll build another one here too. Gathering again stone and iron and lots of wood. And of course clearing that land too for future development, such as like a sawmill, which I believe will automatically replant some of those trees that have fallen from construction. Alright, so let's see. No dangerous weather events observed at the moment. Lower right corner we can see it's spring of year 1, and looks like we have some construction going on immediately. And some of our workers, yeah, look at that. People going out immediately with all sorts of crates and things that they need to deliver. I believe this is the type of game where they'll deliver the resources first, so anybody and everybody in the camp can just grab a box and bring it on over, and then eventually construction will begin. So everybody in the camp is fighting together against Mother Nature and this new nature to build whatever. Look at this guy, literally carrying a giant crate on his back. Do you see this? Look at that. Guy's insane. We had somebody bringing over like a big old shoebox of like nails or tools or whatnot, and then we got this guy literally bringing in like a old 80s computer or something like that, or like hauling a CRT TV up the stairs back when their kid was sick in the 80s. Alright, well now we have a woodcutter and a stone cutter that we can hire. We'll go ahead and do one of each then, unless they want us to do more. Build a field camp, and then yeah, we can actually, we're gonna get everybody working on that so we can get it done as soon as possible. But again, I like the design of these buildings. They really feel somewhere between medieval and pre-industrial as well. It's almost like we've got new building techniques, but not the technology to achieve them. So yeah, kind of like, wait, where's this? Is this like a, you know, a medieval game? No, the power lines and the windmill in the middle of the camp there kind of give that away. So I've always appreciated that with End Zone: A World Apart in this game as well. I like it. All right, well, one camp is done. It looks like the second one will need to be constructed next, with 14 logs needing to be delivered, to which we're out. We can see all of our supplies at the top, and that UI, again, really giving me Frostpunk vibes here. Logs, stone, iron ore, mushrooms, meat, water. We also have simple meals, which can be made at that soup kitchen I mentioned earlier. Lumber, iron deposits, or iron ingots from those deposits after being smelted. We have basic tools. We have leather, clothes, clay, paper, and then electricity. And, of course, some of the other factions might need other things, or different scenarios might have access to different tech. We right now have, these are our population of workers, then on to craftsmen and specialists. One thing I like, too, is every time you click on a different person, like, it'll show you, like, the workers are all different classes. Like, in this case, it happens to be a farmer or a forger. If you click again, you'll see, like, this guy's a blacksmith, and then if you click again, you'll see the other person there. And it's all random. But the last one, I think, is like a woodsman, or like somebody cutting down trees. So yeah, there we go. So every time we click on those, man, is that a Chad emote or what? That guy, that's absolute Chad. Chad Channington right there, out in the woods cutting down trees. I love it. For those of you who are members of the channel, spam those emotes down below. Please, people, I don't want people to think I'm crazy, please. Alright, anyway, cool. Step 1 is done, so now we must build a sawmill and create 30 lumber. So let's get it done. So what do we have going on here? A lumber mill, 24 logs are needed for that, so we'll plop that down right about here. I think that'll be a good spot for it there. And you can actually see there's like a little walkway going through there too, so we can connect like 2 camps together, which is something I can remember doing in the demo before. Each time we play this particular demo too, the location is the same. Our like starting HQ is in the same spot, but I guess we could kind of move things up here if we wanted to. Although I think this is initial housing for the people. Now, eventually, if we click on the camp here, we can rename our camp to whatever we want. I guess we can call this Camp Snoopy for those of you from Minnesota who might remember that. Snoopy, yeah. The peanuts and whatnot. But yeah, so we have food, water, tools, clothes, housing, entertainment, health, and security that our people will eventually want. And then we can kind of get some bonuses from providing those. And then we have a book of laws as well. Diplomacy and outposts. These are things that we'll unlock later, but there are many more ways to manage this camp aside from just, you know, give people food and they won't die, and then just assign them jobs. There's a lot more depth to it than that, and I think that's what caught a lot of people's eye at the very beginning of this game, or at least when we first debuted it. Boy, around like 6 months ago or so, and so I'm really excited to see more coming for this game soon. A couple of speed options. Let's go up to Speed 2, the sequel. Still Keanu Reeves in that one. But yeah, hey, check it out. So people are dropping off some stuff here at the lumber mill. We got 24 out of 24 now for the logs, the lumber that was required. And now we got people coming over to hammer some nails into place. Excellent. Kind of cool. There's like some shelters around. If you build on their shelters, they'll go build elsewhere. But it kind of implies that the city is growing. We have a population limit of 35 currently, so I believe people will come in via just like being immigrants. Like they'll find your camp and be like, hey, can I hang out? It's like, hell yeah, we need all the help we can get. More helping hands, the better. We're trying to save humanity here, so everybody works, everybody fights, no one quits, that kind of thing. Another great thing that I've noticed with all sorts of building games recently, they're all getting very, very good with their landscapes. Bushes, trees, we have like stones and small rocks and things around. And this looks really believable. I think this is almost mandatory for all city builders in the future for me, to see some sort of more believable, diverse vegetation, and flora and fauna, really, is really nice to see. And I think this game has deer that you can, if you look in the woods, you might be able to see some of them walking around. Maybe not at first glance, but I believe they're out there, and that's how we'll get meat later on. But this game, Frozenheim, Farthest Frontier, games that really embrace nature being kind of overgrown and inconsistent with all sorts of different bushes and flowers and things like that. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and build a well now. We need that for not only just water, but to make soup too. So, and there's also kind of more groundwater in certain areas than others. It does matter where we place that. It is an important thing to place that in a particular spot. So we'll plop that down next to the work camp here, the field camp. And that is getting working with all those logs and all those stones already. Okay, we're going to build a well and produce 60 water. So our people are working on that right away. We can build some dusty roads now, I suppose, right? And we could probably make a little path this way. Does take a little bit of materials, but I think it'll speed up people's movement overall from these camps. Oh, right, and the thing I forgot too is this will actually wire power lines to these buildings, which is why they require wood. And stone, I'm imagining they're maybe making gravel roads or trying to at least level out the landscape a little bit by terraforming. In your mind, you could think of it that way. Daily bread. They want us to build a gathering camp and produce 40 mushrooms from this now. So let's go back to resources. Gathering camp. Looks like we can make quite a few sources of mushrooms down here. Go ahead and build equally on the road here. And I think, are we going into a different season? I do see what looks to be the leaves changing. Oh, no. Let's go with 2 of those there. Oh, looks like we're also touching a reserve of a meat deposit. We're going to go mine the meat mines. Nah, there's just some, like, deer and stuff over here. There they are. Pretty. So again, remember, we're going on speed 2. It is recommended in this game, by the way, if you have trouble in the demo, to absolutely slow down with this one. It is not a game that you want to play too speedy. Luckily, I'm a YouTuber, so I really don't care what happens to my people. I don't listen. I just do. You know what I mean? No. I'm a little experienced with this one, and there we go. And we'll have some more people coming in too. Wow, nice. All right, now the goal is to gather 40 mushrooms, so let's do that. We'll just set one of them up and working now. Nice. Oh, that's cool. You can see some fish hanging there, and some meat too. Right now we just got people gathering mushrooms, and we'll produce 30 meals now from our soup kitchen, which we need to research. Oh, immigrants. Looks like there's a group who wants to come on in. We'll have to accept them manually. I thought it was automatic, but it does occur like it does in Banished, for example, where they'll pop up with that. All right, let's slow down time. A lot's happening here, so let's get cracking. So we need to build ourselves a soup kitchen, but first they want us to research basic construction and then build a soup kitchen. We can do that by going to, I believe it's in this menu. Actually, let's take a look at a few things here. Oh, looks like we'll have advisors at the bottom. Excellent. You can click there to preview next eras. Okay. So we're right now kind of like in the medieval era, and then we kind of go into like a Renaissance area, then early industrial, and then industrial. Because by then we're like producing crude oil and big things like that. But there are meals and workwear that we can produce later on, alcohol and glass. So there are some things that we can get going with a little bit later. So this is based on eras. Interesting. What else do we have that we could build right now? Anything else that might immediately help us? Perhaps a second lumber mill, that might be good. And I believe the lumber mill is needed to make paper later on, so let's go ahead and do that now. It is something that we'll make paper with later. So let's plop that there. And what else do we have? We have forges and smiths. We'll get to that shortly. All good there. Nobody needs to work at the mill, or the well. Good. All right, so our tech tree is what we're looking for. This is what they want us to research. This is what I was looking for. We have adaption and sustainability. We have construction and materials. We have community and diplomacy. And these all will give us different bonuses. And I think some of these might also unlock different things down the Book of Laws for us. But right now, we'll start with basic construction. And that'll require a few things to do. 18 wood in about 24 hours. And a little bit of quote-unquote knowledge, which is kind of like our knowledge points that we can invest. We'll then be able to make simple meals, which is our main goal. So let's go ahead and start research on that. And we'll leave and wait for that to be ready. Then we can build our soup kitchen, and then we can start storing that at the camp, which is here. And at 50 people, we'll be on to the next era. So more things will unlock as well for our technology. So far, so good. All right, standing by. Oh, the music's so good, too. It's on par with Frostpunk, really. Okay, so how's the research going? We're about halfway there. Let's speed up again. It looks like we have 844 knowledge. I believe there are ways to generate knowledge in the future. There might be ways to find technology in the future as well, like going into abandoned buildings or going on expeditions. Here's what we're looking for, our soup kitchen. And we'll go ahead and plop that down right there. Right on the corner, close to our little water source too. So water and food will be next to each other. Eventually we'll be able to search for meat. How are we doing on water? Water is going up, but the consumption is higher. because of that soup kitchen. It's going up and down. We'll build another one. Make sure we don't run out. We'll plop one down over... maybe down here. That seems fine. Oh yeah. Love to see the building too. More supplies coming in. No scaffolding, but it does look like they're raising a frame, which is nice. So that's cool. Hard at work, it seems. Go, go, go. Wow. And we're about done. There it is, phasing into position there. Cool. So obviously we got a lot of barrels there to store water and possibly finish stew. And we're about 96% done. We're on to the next one. So now the goal is to produce 30 meals. Soup kitchen is complete. Let's go ahead and assign some workers here. We can tell them to start producing those meals from mushroom and water. And we'll get 3 chads on that one. Boom. Now we're starting to make that. Okay. Now, how are we doing on mushrooms? 814 and water too. Yep, cool. Gonna go ahead and get a few more people on food just to make sure we've got more than what we need. That's probably an abundance. That's a good mistake to make, where it's like, oh, we've got too much food. Oh no. Like I don't think you're gonna say that in the survival game unless it starts to spoil. And in this case, that could be a possibility, but I can't quite recall. 23 out of 48 people here. I believe this is idle workers. We can of course click on any of these data points to give us more information. Like, for example, if we click on the knowledge tab there, we get ourselves the technology tree, and here we have the summer tab telling us a little bit more about positive and negative effects based on the time of year. All right, they're making a lot of good stuff here. And we're already 16 meals in. Perfect. Let's build another soup kitchen. One thing we might want to do here with the soup kitchens, and that's a smart thing that I've discovered through trial and error, is to build one soup kitchen per one of these gathering camps. And so you can do one soup that is a mushroom stew where it takes water and mushroom, and then one that's venison from the deer, that's deer and water, I think, to make that stew. And so you can have a 1-to-1. And if you run out of mushrooms, then you, of course, then can scale back on gathering those and let them regrow. You can put one worker there. And then you can, you can go one worker in the soup kitchen and one worker in the gathering camp, and then do the same with deer when they're low. You can just kind of alternate. Set ration distribution to regular. All right, so now we're going into our Book of Laws a little bit, I believe. Or do we have to research that first? Diplomacy outpost. Nope. Okay. So we're going to have to go back here, I believe it is. They're giving us notices there. We've researched that already. And do that for 2 days, it looks like. Rules and laws, we have none. Current effects, actions available. Mandatory break, outdoor film screening, accelerated training, cycle celebration, resist to climate, and state of emergency. Those are emergency acts we can employ. Wow, that's actually quite cool. I do not remember that at all. Ah, here we are. I think we've got one thing in here. No, nothing yet. Stockpile. Oh, a stockpile. That's something we should build. That's a storage area. That would be certainly necessary. At this point, we're gathering so many materials, it would be wise. That we will do. And then, oh, current objective, 6 out of 6. What does that mean? Oh, we can upgrade buildings to next tiers through here, too. We can activate them and turn them... or destroy them here, turn them on and off. Very nice. Building has been producing for 3 days. Okay. And now we can go ahead and get this one started, too. If we... oh, we'll need to research that. Okay. So we're gathering tons of mushrooms. Looks like the meat is moving around, too, the deer. And we'll keep that building shut down for the time being. So we'll go ahead and turn that off. That's fine. Did we complete another gathering hut? We sure did. Let's go ahead and put some people on that. And then they can start to store things here at the stockpile. Okay, I need to figure out where the heck this thing is. The ability to set policies. And I'm sure they told me, but... Statistics, technology, a world map. Create a scout team to unlock the world map. Right, we can go there too. Very nice. Workers distribution, there we go. So we want to turn that up to regular. That's what we're doing. So we can set it by class. Interesting. So each of these people want food and water, tools and clothes, housing, entertainment, health, and security. And each of these different classes will want different things. So obviously the craftsman might require different food and different types of water or whatnot. Very nice. Okay, well, let's go ahead and go with the regular for food and regular for water. There we are. And that should be that. Now we have to do it for 2 days, so let's speed up. Man, I forgot how quickly it is to kind of like understand and learn this based on a few of the other games that we played many times before on the channel. And I really like that it's not too complicated. Quick tip to look at the help in encyclopedia, yeah. I think we can click on this button and then click any building? No. Something like that. Anyway, so now we're like 30 days in, so it's only been a month, and these people now are pretty much, you know, like self-sufficient on a lot of things, including making a ton of lumber and whatnot. Tutorial complete! Alright, so now we can finally play the game a little bit more without that. Okay, so now we can store all sorts of things at the stockpile, and eventually we can get into mining. We'll try to do that as quickly as we can, but essentially we'll need to unlock that, the forge and the smith, and also, of course, mining. So the biggest bottleneck now, I believe, is just getting people to move in. So we want to research like homes and other things to make everybody happy, so let's do that. If we go back here, we can go to our population overview. No, it's the technology tree that we want. I wish I could access that from the same screen. I always think it's there. But this is what we're looking for here. Establishment 2 hunting, so then we can start getting our people more heartier meals, which is good. Then we can go on to metalworking, so that unlocks the forge and the smith, or community and development, which gives us oath for a shack. So I think we'll start with that one, because, I mean, that's just a great option there for people to have their own homes. And I wonder if we can queue up research. I don't think we can. That'll also cost us tools, so before we do hunting, we'll have to research that. So let's do... oh, yeah. This metalworking also requires the oath to be unlocked, too, so that's the way we have to do it. So the oath will unlock houses. We can build houses, and then we can start with metalworking. And I think people will really like that. Obviously, having homes beforehand. Not bad. Alright. Well, now we're just standing by, waiting for more things to be finished. Hey, technology's been researched. The shack is unlocked. Shaquille O'Neal himself is joining us. Fantastic. No, it's not Joe's Crab Shack or anything like that. It's a residence, a home. Beautiful home indeed. We'll go ahead and build 2 of these next to each other. And I'm not exactly sure what the capacity is, but we'll start with 2 and figure out what we can do. Yes, our people will have needs as well. We have a need for sturdy roofs, so let's build it. Yeah, people will come to you from time to time with demands, like, for example, they want more food, more water, better health care, those types of things. And it's kind of like they'll confront you and be like, hey, boss, here's the thing. We've been patient for quite some time. We would like to have some, you know, a variety of food. And then if you do that, it'll bode well for you. So obviously giving your people what they want. I don't think these people are very picky at all. They're asking for very little. And so it's a good thing to keep them happy, let's say. All right, let's do a little neighborhood here, kind of a 2x2. And you can rotate the buildings and make them look however you want. It's kind of cool. Looks like there's a pathway through there, like a little alleyway. Oh, wow. 10 people could live in these homes. Nice. We've got 10, 20, 30, 40. It looks like we have 48 people, so let's build a couple more houses for expansion. And hey, the more of them that have houses, the happier they'll be. So that's good. All right, cool. Objective fully completed. Oh, that's great. Pat on the back for that one. Whoever Pat is. Pat on the back? Yeah, I don't know who that is. Alright, on to more tech. Let's go for metalworking now. Then we can start making tools, and then with those tools we should be able to make, obviously, some hunting equipment. Things like bow, arrow, traps, knives, other things that our hunting crews will need in order to go get it done, whatever it is. Oh, the music's so good. Ah, technology researched. So now we can mine iron ore and start making tools. If we go to the forge, we should be able to start smelting. But I think before we do that, we want to start mining. Actually, we have that already, don't we, with the field camps that can gather iron. So now we can assign some people to work on iron mining. Okay, cool. And then we can start smelting that. So let's go to production. And we'll keep it near the little warehouse here, right? Then we can smelt things very easily. And we'll leave a little space for people to walk around. We need stability. Oh. Meet the food and water demand of the whole population for 3 days on a regular distribution. We can do that. No problem. Our people have this. We've already done 1 day. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now they're building the forges, which will take that iron that they're mining from the surface, from the field camps, to the forge, and smelt that there into ingots. And then we can start using making tools from those. Alright, I would like to make another... I'm gonna make some more food here. Ah, we got some rain going on here. Autumn. Current seasonal conditions do not have any positive or negative effect. Well, I'd say a little bit of rain's probably good. People know that that's going to replenish the groundwater, and I don't know, will make things not as dusty, and I don't know, it's a nice little change of things. All right, yeah, check that out. Fire up those kilns, baby. Oh, nice. Oh, that's really cool. You can see the channel there. People coming in, firing up the furnace there, and just melting everything down. Very cool. Objective complete. People are happy. That was the food one. A very important step for our people. Go back to tech. Let's go ahead and start doing some stuff with power. That'll be good. We can keep the lights on at night. Light through the night. Very good. Oh, and into the winter. Nice. Ooh, that transition's very nice. Very nice. I believe this game also has music that changes in the winter. I think it might be based on seasons or, you know, where the challenge is based. So the game actually, I believe it keeps track of, like, what's going on. And, you know, if people are dying and stuff, the tune will change a little bit. All right, we need to make a lot of tools now to research more stuff. So let's start getting cracking on that. We'll need to go to the smithy. And we'll build a couple of those back to back, I think. So we could plop those down here. There we go. And we're going to need a lot of those. A lot of tools to do a lot of research. And then we'll need to build the buildings, which might require tools as well. And some buildings might require upkeep with those as well. Well, look at that. Oh, I love the snow. It actually does accumulate quite well on the pathways. It kind of is a dusting, but it is nice to see that the pathways do change appearance based on the seasons. And people are going out to go keep gathering those mushrooms too. I don't know if they should be able to find those in the winter, but eventually we can get some more stuff here. Not available this season. Okay. So we could actually turn these off during the winter. Lack of recipe. Oh yeah, lack of mushrooms. But we have 152 meals, so that should get us through the winter. Okay, let's go ahead and get people working on tools. And we have no more free workers. We have 0 out of 48, so we have a few people more needed. Boy, wow, that timing though. Ask and you shall receive. Plus 13 workers. Glory to Raptoria. Get it going down below in that comment section. Let's go. Next thing we can build here is wire at the smith as well. So multiple buildings will be needed. The reason I'm doubling down on these is because they can each make their own resource. You may have noticed it earlier, and I may have mentioned it, is that the lumber mill will produce paper later on, but we need to unlock that. So doubling down on certain things might be good, especially when it's close to the like where resources are gathered. Oh, somebody needs something here. Iron limbs. Oh no, do we have prosthetics needed? Alright, let's do it. Anything for our Raptorians, for sure. The new era. Era 2. So now we can build a tavern, a smelter, a kiln, a pit, a tailor, basic mines. So that gives us much more access to resources like copper, and possibly more coal and I think maybe iron. A residence, which is an upgraded house that we built from before, and a storehouse and a resource camp. So things are starting to get a little bit more complicated, but all feeling good. Okay. And it looks like we gave our people whatever they needed. Alright, shall we do some more research? We need to unlock hunting. I think we should do that. We should certainly focus on food first, in order to feed and house all these people that are coming in. Looks like we need more houses too. Can we upgrade yet? Upgrade next tier. Oh, it'll take 42 wire to get that too. Ah, Shack is the name of the first one, yes. I forgot my horrible Shaquille O'Neal joke. I apologize. Okay. Well, we'll build 2 more of those. That'll be fine. Technology researched. Excellent. So now we can go fishing too. I'm not sure if you could build a little gathering camp near the water and actually get fish in this, but regardless, all good. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cut back on a few mushrooms now. And we're going to go towards the venison recipe, if we can. Ah, it doesn't take water at all, so it's just grilled meat, essentially. Let's turn that on. Perfect. Okay, now the great thing about the hunting camp is it's also producing leather for us, so they're able to get hides and then tan that there, so that does open up more things for the tailor, I believe. So that's another step forward for us. Things are going quickly, aren't they? Now we need to unlock structural, what was it, status or something? Yeah, structural statics. Oh, wait a minute. We only have a little bit of knowledge, though. We're not too far off, actually. We just need a little bit more. Insulated furnaces. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see how quickly we can do these things. Metalworking techniques and hunting for surveillance. That gives us scouts. A tavern, which would probably boost morale a bit. And vocational training. I think we'll do those later. But we'll wait until we get the 250. 250. Alright. So now also our power is at 0 because we have a 200 kilowatt production from the windmill in the center of camp. And a 200 kilowatt consumption from various buildings. Not sure exactly what's consuming the power, but build a dusty road here. And it should be good to go. So from here on out, what we would do is we would unlock the pit, which would give us clay and sand, so we can make glass and we can make anything out of clay, bricks and other things through that, and also get stone, and a basic mine which will help us to get iron and copper, and I believe we can also get coal from that, and the coal could be put to use on the kiln for bricks, and the tailor, of course, coming in from all of the leather. So those would be the next things to research there. Technological boot camp allows us to upgrade our people from workers to craftsmen and specialists eventually. Scouts will let us go out on missions and gather additional resources that way. And then the tavern will let us... It's a gathering point for people, so it has something to do with morale. I forget exactly what. And then also the windmill, which produces power, which, again, you can see where the wind is blowing in from the shore. Yeah, check that out. So as we cut down the trees and whatnot, we can generate more power that way. And you can kind of see the little meter on the left side as it's building up as we get closer to the shore. If we try to build some here, it's the best, like the best spot available. So if we plop those down like that, then we can produce, I'm not exactly sure the exact number, but let's just say it's 200 each, for example. So that'll be plus 400, and then I think that'll have something to do with our building efficiencies later on, which we can increase that way. But pretty nice, I'd say. Keep gathering more meat. Very good. Well, that is a revisit then of a News Cycle, a game that will have a demo out on Monday for everybody on June 19th for the next event, hopefully with a new demo, but a game definitely to keep an eye on, and a game that I actually remembered well. I didn't practice or anything. This was all just basically live streaming it and playing it in a video before, so it certainly has a lot in common with other games. It has a fresh feel and a great immersion to it as well. I'd say the music and the environment and the leaves and stuff blowing around are really nice, and I like it. Alright guys, if you like it, then make sure you smash that like button to download the demo for free. Try it out. and I will see you all next time. Thanks again, everybody, for watching.